Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue. It is July 29th, 2024, the end of July. And just kind of thinking back at some of the games that came out and what I've been playing. Yeah, we'll jump into that. What I've been playing. So, yeah, let's get started with that. Share this. Share this. Oh, and good morning, all. We got JMKL X. With his coffee, that's a good idea. I don't have that yet. Ultronomous morning. Good to see you guys. Okay. So what did I play this past weekend mostly? And it was just really two games. Half-Life Alyx and SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos. I can't believe how much I'm playing this fighting game. Like I was talking for a while here. I think pretty much all year since I started, like, I need to find that fighting game I need to get back into. And there's been some that I tried and it was almost there. But this one is definitely it. And I think it has a mix of being very difficult, so it's a challenge for me, but also it's a mix of King of Fighters and Street Fighter characters. And I think there's muscle memory with pulling off a lot of those moves, especially King of Fighters series. I remember getting into King of Fighters back in like the 98 or 99 version, and I had at that time, I think I'd memorized most specials for each character, and then I just over time, uh, forget that stuff. But I've been having so much fun playing this, and so I'm at a point right now where I beaten it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters, maybe, because I know some of these, like this one, is for defeating hidden character Athena, and then some of them are just like beat. One of these is just beat a mission or beat the game with a Capcom character, beat a game with the SNK character, complete arcade mode using a single credit. I had only done that once, maybe, because it's so hard. That was crazy. I think I did that with who did I do that with? And I was super impressed by myself. It might have been Terry or it might have been Iori. I don't know. But anyway, me playing it more and more, it's that muscle memory. I'm getting better at it, so I'm having more fun when I go back to it. But man, the difficulty is hard. Even if you change some of the settings to make it easier for you, the game is still super hard. But it's doable. Yeah, I can't believe I've actually spent 7 hours in just a 2D fighting game, but that's how fun it is. And then the other game, Half-Life Alyx. Now, I haven't played this whole 4 hours, 52 minutes because my son was playing too. Just on the same profile, but different file. So Half-Life Alyx it's interesting because, I first played, I was like, this is amazing. This is the best VR game. But after a while it goes and it's like, well, there's a couple things. One, it showcases how cool and interesting it is right off the bat. Like how you're just free roaming, picking up anything. You could do anything. But then that's it. If you know what I mean. It doesn't so far, and I'm on like the 4th level, so it could get better. I haven't really come across anything where it's like evolving the VR stuff into something newer and crazier. And I'm like, oh my God, it's more like this is just a well-made proof of concept to where I mean, it's good. It's just, another thing has to do with the Half-Life brand in general. I mean, we've had the Half-Life game, which is revolutionary, then Half-Life 2, which to me, I mean, it was a big deal when Half-Life 2 came out. Although I thought it was kind of weak. It was pretty basic for a first-person shooter at the time. It just had some neat things, namely the physics going on. But again, like with Half-Life Alyx, it's like they never really got to that point where they really doubled down on what's possible with the gameplay. So, like, I think when it came to Half-Life, like 2 episodes 1 and 2, didn't it have those extra episodes or something, or like episode 3? I think I just never beat the final one because after a while I was like, you know what? Half-Life 2 is not as good as I thought. Anyway, what I'm trying to get with that is there's not really an interesting sort of identity around the Half-Life brand, especially when it comes to VR right now is huge, huge, huge for a younger generation. And just my son doesn't recognize Half-Life Alyx. Most people don't talk about Half-Life Alyx because it didn't really have the brand recognition that a company like Valve has the ability to support. Valve has the money. They could, with their own IP, could really um, put some more work into that. And I'm surprised they haven't, because Half-Life Alyx is good, but like if you could get maybe like Valve works on the concept, and then you have another team come in to kind of help really build it out. I think that's what the game needs, because yeah, I was even talking to my brother and how he's saying it's like one of the best VR games. And I was like, but have you beat it? He's like, no. And it's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's really cool. It's really fun, but it doesn't take that extra step to like solidify it as the full package experience you need to have. So kind of interesting. Um, and then looking at here real quick, because some other things. So Alien 3 the gun, yeah, that's another topic. So there's this, I got the retro shooters. There's these light guns, right? And I cannot get it to work. There's probably something I'm missing, but I have it where the emulators can detect the gun, but not the reticle when I'm moving it around, even though I have the IR sensors hooked up and they're lit up. I don't know. It could be something simple I'm doing wrong, but anyway, I'm trying to get this whole light gun set up situated. I was testing it with Alien 3 the gun, couldn't get it to work. It it's a painful process. I think it just has to do with software. Like, there's not really, because even though the retro shooter has this PC calibration software, there's so many different emulators. It's kind of like when a video game company is making a video game. It's like, what spec do you make it? Well, there's so many different GPUs out there. That's kind of an example. And this is just a small company, so it's like they've been able to make the game work in a specific scenario. Like, they sell something called the Pandora's box. It's really just a uh, console that has a bunch of ROMs on it. Technically illegal. And I didn't buy that, but apparently it's just plug and play with that. Except it's not that powerful, and it's cheaper just to set it up on your computer. I just have to spend more time, figure it out. It's kind of tough. Um, And then I tried a little bit of Beat Saber. This was pretty fun because I was more interested in putting like custom music on there. So we put some custom music. I was playing with my son. And it's interesting. The custom songs are all like harder expert difficulty, and I've never really played Beat Saber, so I kind of have to start from the beginning. Although it's not too different from even the other thing I'm doing on my VR is the supernatural exercise training, and it's not on here because it's not a game, but it's pretty similar to Beat Saber, where you have to do things like timing, but there's a lot of like doing what do you call it, squats and exercise stuff, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I did it this morning before I got on, and it's like it really wakes me up and gets my blood flowing. So but I guess that's about all I really played this weekend. It's not a whole lot of different things, but I can't believe how much fun I'm having with SNK vs. Capcom, SVC Chaos. Like, it would probably be in the top 5 most fun I've had playing games this year, yet it's just a fighting game from like 20 years ago. But I love it. I love how, like, last year, one of my favorite games was Double Dragon, Gaiden. Even though that was like a new game, it's based off an old IP. And even the gameplay style is older, so it's just neat, all the different games you can be playing. Um, let's see. Let's dive into some news. Let's see. Uh oh, this is interesting. Okay, notoriously delisted Activision game skyrockets in price thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine film. So this Deadpool game is something that I thought Microsoft would be able to get up onto Game Pass by the time the movie comes out. I wonder what is happening that they can't. I have it on PC. A fun game. Nolan North does the voice of Deadpool, and it's spot on. Um, yeah, they need to get this out on Game Pass, and I'm sure they're working on that. Um, so, real quick, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I did see the Deadpool and Wolverine film, and I I was disappointed, but it turned out exactly like I thought. Where it's just more of it's just jokey the whole time, and it doesn't have a strong story. And I know Deadpool's supposed to be humorous and joke around, but also a lot of times you can have some pretty epic stories that these characters are in that this is taking place. But this is more like an Airplane or Naked Gun movie where the plot doesn't matter and it's just to see gags, which is not what I wanted. And it's what it is. There is one part though that is the greatest part that I could expect a movie to ever have, and I cried. I'm telling you the truth. But even in its own, like if that part was just released as a YouTube video and not in Deadpool and Wolverine, it would have impacted me the same way. Um, and it's very funny because the Deadpool and Wolverine plot is like the same as the Flash, just not as fleshed out. But maybe I'll get to that later. We might talk more about that on some other pods, perhaps. But anyway, I just think this is a perfect time to get Deadpool, the game, and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Those are both awesome games. I wonder if they're made. I know Raven did the Wolverine Origins game, but those are both great games. Okay, what is next? I saw this post about the Mafia Definitive Edition, which I think has still been rumored, right? I don't know if they said anything about what version it is coming out exactly, but Game Pass are on August 13th. There's some other cool games coming out around that same time on Game Pass. Atlas Fallen is one I'm looking forward to. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Possible leaked screenshot of new Kirby game. I didn't really see the screenshot, but I wouldn't doubt that another Kirby game is coming. But interesting, like, would this be a Switch 2 thing? So I'm kind of curious about how they're doing with that. Let's see. Okay, this is a big one. So this is from Jez Corden. I've been told that Microsoft is actively working with Capcom to fix MT framework issues on Xbox. If this goes through and happens, and we hear that, hey, we're able to get, these backwards compatible MT framework games onto Xbox, I'm gonna be very happy because that's just another example of teams working together to make sure things happen to give gamers the experience they need. I never like it when a game can't come out on a certain platform because it just then less eyes are on that. There's a lot of times for people, and I think SVC Chaos is a good example that just came out on Xbox North America and nowhere else. So there are people that with an Xbox come across this game and they are able to like experience something and then think about it in the future. If you leave something off a platform, no one would ever be able to experience that, and then you don't have a customer for life. So, yeah, it's again, if this goes through, I'm going to be screaming about this a lot to like let other companies know, look, this is a good example of what you should be doing. The ongoing issue with MT Framework and Capcom games, which are skipping Xbox for technology reasons, really from what I've been told, but I've also been told that Microsoft is actively working on it with Capcom. I think Microsoft has identified that having Capcom's back catalog not present on Xbox for a technology reason is not a great look. Yeah, it's not it might not be a great look, but why is it not a great look? Because people see value in having access to games, or even any company would want more people to access their games. So, yeah, very interesting. Here's something else I came across. So GTA 6 will not be impacted by the SAG-AFTRA strike. So from what I understand, the contracts for the acting voice work done in GTA 6 was written so that if there was a strike, they wouldn't have to participate in it, which is pretty smart because these people, I guess, are getting work still. That stuff's always tough because it's like I'm not really there. I'm not in it, so I don't know. But then you see people like, GTA 6 still wanting to work because then people get to make money, but then maybe people aren't making that much money. I don't know. It's always tough because I'm not in it. A lot of us are not there to know what it feels like. Especially like what if we were able to compare like the jobs we all currently have, how much we make versus what we think we should be making, it's interesting. I don't know. Um, best of both worlds. You can go on strike for more money, but still work and get paid. Yeah, that's oh, but Adam, I heard Japanese companies just hate Xbox, which is funny because that's funny. You hear that a lot, but that's just not the case. It's just that you know it's more of Xbox is an American thing, so the Japanese consumers really have no reason to go that direction unless there's games that make sense on the platform, which there always have been. Xbox has actually always been good about that. Um, it's just at the end of the day, it's an Xbox versus Nintendo. Even with PlayStation, it's more Nintendo in Japan. Let's see. Okay, let's jump into some news. Um, GTA 6 and the PlayStation 4 problem. Okay, that's interesting. The reason this is interesting is for a lot of reasons, and that's Switch and that's Xbox Series S. Let's see if it actually gets into that. So, um, wait, the phrase that gets thrown around the games industry a lot right now is survive until 2025. Well, I mean, it's been a couple years, and I don't think there's been an until anything that has worked out yet. The hope or even expectation is that next year we will see the games business bounce back after 2 years of faltering sales and mass redundancies. But I almost feel like that's actually not what really happened. It's more of the industry is leveling back out to what it should have been. Post COVID, these companies were just doubling down on guesses, estimates. They didn't know. They were like, "Oh, I think we could just make." So, yeah, I would say the hope is that next year we'll see the games business go back to normal. Um, yeah. Let's see. There are a few reasons for this expectation. First, there's the belief that we'll see continued economic recovery and falling inflation rates, which should result in increased consumer spending and investment. Second, the launch of a new Nintendo console should spark increased interest in sales of new games. That'll be fun. And third, Grand Theft Auto 6. Um, okay. The to get to the main thing here, yet one thing that some in this year are hoping for with GTA 6 is that it will help overcome the PS4 problem. And I see what they're saying. The point is to get people off the PS4 because right now people have a PS4 and that's fine. They can play Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, Call of Duty. I mean, you can do everything you need to do on a PS4 and it still looks great. Um, so and that's the same thing with Xbox Series S, right? There were some games being held back on Xbox in general because they had to have platform parity with the Series S. And then also you get a lot, we've seen rumblings in the background of like porting and work on older games to work on a PS4 because the idea is for it to work on the Switch because Switch 2 is probably going to be more in line with like a PS4. And so then we hear, the PS5 there was some news recently about a PS6. Let's see if that comes up. So what would be interesting to see is what actually happens because let's say the Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's on PS5, and I guess it's not going to be on PS4. Is that what's going to get people to buy a PS5? Because I think the word is it's not going to be on PC at first. So you see where this is going. How much is Sony and Rockstar working together to make this stuff happen? And could Xbox? And that's the thing. Okay, so let's say the new Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, but you have to have it. It's only on PS5 and the Xbox Series. Could any of them, and maybe even Switch too, but could any of these companies incentivize a player base to come to their platform for Grand Theft Auto that hasn't already upgraded to one of those platforms? And the things I can think of off the top of my head are like Game Pass. Could Xbox work with Rockstar to get an exclusive Game Pass deal? But because is Microsoft wanting more people to buy a console to play Grand Theft Auto 6, or would they rather have people get on Game Pass to play Grand Theft Auto 6? And I don't know. I don't know what it will be interesting to find out what they do with that, especially Nintendo. Because I wonder if before the PC release, if gamers had a choice to play Grand Theft Auto 6 on Switch 2, Series X, or PS5, they might just go with Switch 2 because it's portable. But then the PS5 Pro is around the corner, and what if that coincides with the release of GTA 6, and the PS5 Pro just happens to have neat features to make people want to then go to PS5 Pro, almost going from PS4 to PS5 Pro, which I think is the real, even though PS5 exclusive games look fantastic, again, there wasn't that big of a reason to jump. So what if this is that? And how would they do that? Because the only thing I can think of is with this new PS5 Pro is a lot of it has to do with software. And you could almost say it's like AI. It's basically software to kind of help a game look better, do a lot of the heavy lifting. And so I wonder if there's some sort of feature that could be called out between the platforms to make people go. Like, what if on PS5 Pro, Grand Theft Auto 6 or 5, whatever it's the next one is 6, yeah, has no load times. Like, what if that is the thing? But then Switch is like, well, you have portability. And then what if Xbox is like, well, it's part of Game Pass? That's interesting. I think there's different ways this could go. And I'm not too sure. And I guess from my perspective, what I want out of it is I would rather play this game on PC. That's the thing for me. So interesting. What if, before it comes out on PC, the PS5 Pro version comes out and it's for a PC gamer, it's like, whoa, this is the way to go. And it looks amazing. It's like, oh, okay. So do I go ahead, jump to PS5 Pro because as a PC gamer, I'm going to get that cutting edge technology? I don't know. I had her. Nobody's going to buy a whole console for GTA, and console sales can't save the industry. Like I said, Adam, more cross-platform and more games are what? Yes, exactly. But I do think historically, Grand Theft Auto sold consoles. I might have to look back into that info, but I want to say that was a big part of like the previous consoles was people, buying PlayStation just to play Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, we'll see, because I'm with you. Like it's not about the consoles at all. But is it? I don't know. I am kind of confused. We'll just see what happens. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Let's see. Starborn could be Bethesda's second Starfield expansion. Yeah, something called Starborn. But I don't know. Paris 2024 is the first Summer Olympics in 30 years to have no console video game. Oh, interesting. Not sure what that is. Oh, Sonic X Shadow Generations price. Let's see what it is doing for price. Okay. So Sonic X Generations or X Shadow Generations is available to pre-order digitally on Switch. All digital pre-orders include the digital deluxe edition, which receive the Sonic Adventure Legacy skin. Okay. Yeah, I know what they're trying to do here. Okay, so it's a full price. Is that really full price? I think 70 is full price, but still 49. 49. So when I saw the price of SVC Chaos for 20, I jumped at it, even though that's way less content. But would I spend $49 to play Sonic Generations again? The difference being there's now Shadow in it. I don't think so. If it was 39, maybe, but then like knowing that I'm missing out on things because of 60, I don't know. So Ultronomous is saying it's not bad given a full expansion on top of the old game. Yeah, I don't know. When reviews come out, that will tell me. And it's funny because the reviews for Sonic Superstars were like okay, and the game was not great. Like there was no legit criticism about that game. And then even Sonic Frontiers, which was a good step in the right direction for 3D Sonic, but I don't think it also didn't have the right criticism. And it reminds me of this Deadpool and Wolverine thing. It's like you have a company with the IP and the money, but you just do this. It's like, that's okay, but why do that when there's so much potential? That's kind of how I feel. Yeah, we'll see. Um, okay, what does the humble restructuring say about the state of games publishing? Well, nothing that hasn't already been said before. And remember, Humble didn't start off as a game publisher, and then they got bought by bigger. It's just that whole thing. It's the whole corporate system. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that Mafia on August 13th. So that's a good selection of games to be on Game Pass beginning of August. Let's see. So I'm curious of what games would actually be affected by this strike. Is it from this voice acting strike, motion capture? I don't know what it all entails. Is it because of this that games would actually be delayed? I'd almost think no. I'd almost think like some companies would be like, well, we got to get this done somehow anyway. Let's do it with, yeah, I wonder though, is there, yeah, thinking of there can't be a union, right? Because that's what was going on with Bethesda, but that was for game developers. Yeah, these everyone's everywhere with this. There's not like one main, like, there's multiple problems and there's multiple solutions being thrown around. So I don't know. I probably won't speak more on that because I probably don't know what I'm talking about. Capcom says all business segments outperformed. That's excellent. Yeah, Capcom's on fire. That's why I hope they really are working with Microsoft to get that MIT framework working. MIT? MT. MT. Okay, Borderlands boss teases what's next. I'm confident our fans will be very, very happy. Is Borderlands boss who I think Randy Pitchford, yeah. I'm so disappointed every time I see something with him because like aliens. Because of that. So, whatever. Free guide to redundancies and how to avoid them for okay, so that's PS Portal still seeing some launches go on. Interesting. I don't know if there's anything Oh, GTA 5 could come to PC Game Pass. It should. I would think it would already be. Over 8 minutes of Astrobot gameplay appears online, but I wouldn't watch that because I can't wait to play it. Oh, yeah, and there's 1 day left. Either that was this morning or later today where you can't buy anything on the Xbox 360 marketplace. And I checked, and I already have either everything or most things that are only on Xbox 360. And I mean, really, every time I look up, what are the Xbox 360 store exclusives? And people will list things that are on PlayStation and PC. And there's some random stuff. I can't think off the top of my head, but it wasn't as much as I thought because Microsoft really did a good job of making things backwards compatible. So, yeah. What? Here's the first trailer for Sega's live action Like a Dragon series already. And it's coming out in October. What? Oh, is this a CGI thing? Okay, that makes more sense. That's what it looks like. No, there's live action right there. It's very basic stuff. I wonder if it's kind of a small, interesting. Curious how this will turn out considering, okay, they're calling it Like a Dragon, so it might be more on the goofier side of things. So I don't know. That's actually very interesting. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, there's not too much more to talk about. What's the plan for this week gaming wise? I really can't think of anything. There could be some releases coming soon this week. I think like the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game comes out this week. Yeah, but yeah, thanks all for joining. We'll continue this tomorrow and talk more gaming. But yeah, until next time, be cool. See y'all.